Okay, it is time for Jerry and the Goddesses Part 17. I looked around at the other guys who all carried assault rifles. I remembered something Gary had told me about their effective range. 500 yards to the ridge was about the far edge of it, but not for the rifle in my hand with the extended barrel. I moved to the far edge of the building where there was a low brick planter. I laid down behind it, hoping it would provide me enough cover, and I laid my rifle on the edge. I wiggled it around a bit to move some flowers out of the way and then put my eye to the big scope. I really felt like the scope was the only reason I'd hit anything, but whatever. I still had it, along with 14 rounds in the magazine and the gun. I carefully tracked the ridge until I was sure I could see muzzle flashes surrounded by black smoke. I kept my other eye open the way Gary had insisted I do, and through it I could see both Sarissa with a huge sword and Inanna with her own machine gun making their way towards it less than 50 yards away. I closed my eyes for a second and prayed. Sarissa, Inanna, please, I need both of you to be with me now. Help me out, please. I opened my eyes and found the muzzle flashes again. I could hear Ixie's yowls of pain as some of the bullets found him, and I winced. If this guy hurt Ixie, I would be so pissed. After a moment, I finally caught a silhouette. I remembered everything Gary had taught me about range and windage, and I raised the crosshairs a bit off the guy. Then I squeezed the trigger. Half a second later, the silhouette dropped. I could still see it moving, but it was crawling on hands and knees towards some rocks. I adjusted my aim and began squeezing shots out. I took my time repeating the mantra Gary had taught me. Slow is smooth, smooth is fast. Most of the shots missed, but a few made the figure spasm and then scramble faster. I hit him 4 times before he disappeared behind the rocks. I dialed back the magnification a bit and watched Inanna and Sarissa approach the rocks. They rounded a large tree, then froze. Sarissa threw her sword down and her hands up, and Inanna slammed her machine gun down on the ground. I guess the guy was gone. A tap on my shoulder brought me back. It was one of the guys, and he was holding out a magazine that would fit my rifle. I took it, said thanks, and changed out the one I had. We watched and waited for a few more minutes, but nothing happened. Eventually Sarissa returned, and the first thing she did was giggle with glee upon seeing me and wrapping her arms around my neck. "I heard your prayers, Jerry. That was amazing. You didn't even question the wisdom I shared. You just used it. So freaking cool." She kissed my cheek then, and I saw Inanna approach, stop, and growl at Sarissa. "Get off him," she said in a low, warning tone. I gulped. She sounded pissed. Sarissa was less phased, sticking her tongue out in response, but she let go of me all the same. "Jerry," Inanna said, breathing heavily and pacing forward. I braced myself for her to scream about Sarissa kissing me, but she didn't. She got within arm's reach of me, touched my arm, and in a flash my gun and all my clothes were gone. That was so fucking hot. She leapt. I screamed. Good times. The end.